We got a 6R 155 tractor working on today, and I figured I'd show you guys a good reason why you need to update your software if there's new available. This tractor here, the customer was complaining about it, that it was the battery's draining down on it pretty quick, and he actually was checking it every day and recording what the voltage had dropped, and had a tech last fall come out and ended up replacing the battery because it had failed. They thought that was what was causing the amp draw, but still didn't quite fix it. So I come out today and we're looking at it, and we're doing a parasitic draw test on this thing. And the way you got to do that is there is put a disconnect in line with the ground cable here, because on these newer tractors they've got lots of controllers, the mecha controllers, that will stay online after the key switch is turned off. And so it takes a little bit before those controllers will turn off, and if you just unhook the battery and test to see what your amp draw is after the battery is unplugged, those controllers will shut off, and you might not find what is causing the actual amp draw. So I've got the disconnect set in there, and you'll tighten it down so it makes contact, because you don't want all that amperage pulling through your meter here. That little fuse won't handle it. And then you'll start the tractor up, let everything boot up completely, and then we'll shut it off, and we'll let it set for about 20 minutes roughly to make sure all the controllers boot down and everything. And after that point, then you can open up the disconnect here, and so then all your amp draw coming from the battery going to wherever it's drawing it from will go through the meter, and you can see exactly how many amps or milliamps that it's pulling. So at this point on this one right now, we're pulling about 400 milliamps on that battery right now, and which is out of spec. The spec is no more than 100 milliamps on this tractor. So on this tractor there is actually a battery disconnect solenoid that actually shuts the power off to everything after there's a couple different things that activate that solenoid, like the anytime you turn the key switch on, automatically powers up the solenoid, powers everything up. As soon as you open the door will activate it, and the light switch will activate it, and the hazard switch, I think. Those four things will actually activate that solenoid, and then will give power where it's needed. And so after everything is booted down and all those components are inactive, that battery disconnect solenoid will actually disconnect and should shut everything off on this tractor until one of those items is reactivated again. And so after everything booted down on this one, it got down to about 400 milliamps and just wouldn't go down any further. And so at that point I started removing fuses to figure out where our amperage is going to, and I ended up pulling the cab fuse here off, and my amperage went to pretty well nothing. And so I knew I had something on the cab controller circuit that was causing the cab controller to stay online. So I was doing a little digging on the schematics. So here I was looking at the schematic that keeps that battery cutoff relay activated. Right here we've got a couple light switches. Over here we got another one. Here's our cab controller. If it's staying active, it tells the battery cutoff to stay active. There's also on the IVT, the park lock solenoid will keep it activated. I got to digging around on DTAC, which is the Dealer Technical Assistance Center, and found a DTAC solution where it talked about the battery being empty, and the cause was the high beam light switch was in the on position. And it talks about that it keeps the signal alive to the battery cutoff relay and does not disconnect the battery. There's no buzzer sound or warning signal is displayed, which I do remember in some of the older 6Rs that when you turn the tractor off and the high beams was in the on position, it would sit there and buzz at you. And there's actually a software update that will fix this issue. So we've got software downloading. We've got a whole bundle of stuff, actually. Stuff right here we need to download. We're going to get all the software up to date on this tractor. And once the software for the displays completed on my thumb drive here, we're going to install it on the tractor and confirm that we have fixed the issue. So one way that I confirmed that it was for sure my high beam light switch there on the column right there is I put it in the off position. As soon as I opened the door, my milliamps, the switch activated, so obviously it went back up to about 1200 milliamps, and I turned the switch off, and after several minutes everything shut down and my amperage went to pretty well nothing. So I knew that was for sure what was causing this issue. So we're downloading software right now. We're going through the bundle, and one of the updates is the display, so this will take a little bit. So after installing all the software, we have confirmed that our software has fixed the issue. After shutting the doors, turning everything off, took several minutes, and battery shut off, solenoid kicked off, we could hear it, and we are down to 54 milliohms now. Get these steps installed back on here and return this tractor to the customer.